friends, and welcome to my universe. It's pretty amazing. I'm Steve with Universe in a Box, and as I said in my last review of Pirate Borg, I am going to be reviewing various tabletop role-playing games and that I played in the past year that I've really enjoyed. And this time I'm going to be talking about Vaesen, or Vaesen. It is put out by Free League, and it's a great game. One of the things I really enjoy about it is the idea that the Fae realm is real, and you're investigators investigating things that go on. And it's called a Nordic horror role-playing game because it takes place in Uppsala, I think I have that correct, and I believe Norway, maybe Sweden, Norway, and it's around the Victorian era time, and the Fae realm is real, but not everybody knows that. Not everybody sees it, and your character you play is an investigator that has been touched by the Fae somehow, by Vaesen, and so you're able to see them and know that something's going on, something's different. And a lot of the adventures, you're trying to solve a mystery. Why is this happening in this town? Or why are children disappearing somewhere? Or, there's some mystery you're trying to resolve, and you're not always killing something. Sometimes you're trying to appease one of the Fae. They're not necessarily evil, they're not necessarily good. It's just they're displeased with the Industrial Revolution, things going on, and so they want to bring balance back to nature, and in doing so it can create problems in the world for normal humans. Well, I actually played it at Gen Con in 2023, I believe. And then I played it again in 2024. And both times I had great fun. And the person who ran it in 2024 did a great job kind of giving you that eerie feel like things are normal, but not quite. It's just a little off. And you're trying to figure out why. And as you do, things start to go horribly wrong, and the world isn't quite what you think it is. But I ended up picking it up, and I'm glad I did. I love the art in it. I mean, just the cover, it has a whole story there, And then you open it up, and it has this feel of kind of a old tome, sort of, and the game is based on a book, Vaesen, by Johan, I'm going to get his name wrong, Johan Egregrans, but he did the art for this, or a lot of the art for this, and it's just phenomenal and very evocative. I mean, you got this little pixie creature down here, and it's like, what is that? How does that play in? But it introduces you. You have these weird crow raven things, and it takes you through. It does a great job of going through, explaining what Vaesen is and how it works, how they interact with the world and the universe, Well, they talk about the mythic North, the Vaesen, the sight. A person with a sight means that you have the ability to see the Vaesen, even when they are trying to remain invisible. You acquired the sight as a result of some physical or psychological trauma, most likely some form of supernatural event, either during childhood or as an adult. Those who have the sight are sometimes referred to as Thursday's children. But it takes place in Uppsala, and you can actually place it anywhere. There's supplements. They just released one for Carpathia with vampires and Dracula and all that, which is kind of cool. I've seen a supplement for Japan, I believe, where you have Oni and other Japanese monsters. There's one for England, the UK, and if you're into podcasts, check out the Bardic College. They have a great podcast that they've done that's all about Vaesen, and they're acting out as they role play, and it's a really fun listen to. Great stories. Bruno over there does a great job storytelling and creating great atmosphere with it. But this goes on, tells you all about the Vaesen, how to make your player character. They have archetypes. You have your character sheet. This is for a character I made. Your attributes, they tend to be low because that's the number of dice you roll. It's all 6-sided dice that you're rolling. So if you take a physique test on my character here, I have 4. So I'd roll 4 6-sided dice. Anything that's a 6 or better, 6, is a win. So if I pass, I get a 1 6, I pass usually. More 6s mean you pass more. But then you have other skills down here that can add different things. So, like, I'm agile. So if I do something that takes agility, I'd use my physique up here plus my agility and roll 5 dice to try to get 6 on it. My precision, because this character is a hunter, he has a precision of 5, and if he's trying to be stealthy or doing ranged combat, shooting something, I would, with ranged combat, I'd add 3 more dice to that 5, so I'd roll 8 dice to get a 6. So it increases your odds and chances, but then you can get equipment like a rifle, a hunting knife, other stuff. That would help you do better. When you take damage, you don't have hit points per se, so you're not like, oh, I have 20 hit points, I'm down to 10, I'm half there. You have conditions that you take. So as you take damage, you could get exhausted, battered, wounded, broken. And so your physical body can be broken down, and eventually, if you don't get cared for, you can die. Mental, you can become angry, frightened, hopeless, broken. And when you're in a broken state, you basically are lost your mind, which, if you play Call of Cthulhu, you can kind of pull some of that into the mental state with how things are affecting your players. So they could go crazy. It's a very simple system, a lot of storytelling, which I love, and just very interesting. And if you become broken, you sustain a critical injury. And it could be a foot injury, which gives you a limp. It could be a cracked skull, which gives you brain damage, and your learning is lowered. You have to roll to see how long it takes you to recover. And you have mental injuries where if you're broken, you could be confused. You're dazed, your investigation goes down. You're overwhelmed by vulnerability. You're paranoid, so your vigilance goes down. You have a supernatural experience, so something else could happen. And it's very evocative, and it's very, very cool. And one of the neatest things, I think, is if you play by the rule book, they have the society in its headquarters. So you start off with a headquarters that you're at, and it's a society of people that are trying to investigate these Vaesen activities. And it gives you a whole historical background. And when you start, you have this house, but you don't have all the parts to it. And as you adventure, you can start developing your facilities. You can get an armory, a butterfly house, an infirmary, a cellar vault, a chapel. You can add people to it that help you. So you have places where you can investigate, learn more about the Vaesen. You've been able to search part of the house, but as you grow your abilities, you're finding out more about the house, what's there, and makes it easier or more helpful in continuing adventures. And I haven't used that part because I haven't done a campaign yet. I've just done one-offs, but it's really cool in how it works, and I was very impressed with that. And then they have the whole section on the Mythic North in Uppsala. They give you a whole little map of Scandinavia, so you know where you're located. They tell you about the city, because that's where you start out with this. And if you get one of the other supplements, you can start there. They have the map of Uppsala and various points where you can find out information or investigate. And then it has a whole section on the Vaesen, and I mean, look at that art. That's just beautiful. And it has a whole section on the Vaesen and what they are, who they are, how they interact, enchantments, trollcraft. Some of the player characters can use magic. They have like the ash tree wife, and some of these, if you read mythology or any of that, you might have heard of some. The brook horse, it's just a very cool setting, I think. And I mean, lindworm, fairies, mares, mermaids, night ravens, Nissi, revenant, sea serpents, trolls, werewolves, and then there's a whole bunch of places for non-player characters. So you could run into a police officer, soldier. So it has a lot of good stuff for a GM just starting out too, just to give them what they need. Then they have, in the back, they have the mystery, which introduces you to how you run a story for Vaesen, and then explains campaigns, and then they have a adventure, the Dance of Dreams, that you can run for your players. But it's just a great book. Lots of charts, lots of things to read, to look at. It's the art in it is phenomenal. I love it. But like I said, they have Carpathia. They just released that. The Mythic Britain. I believe the one for Japan is actually a third-party supplement that somebody did, but it looked really good when I looked at it. One thing as I played this a couple times, I'm like, this would be really cool. You could set it in the U.S. during Revolutionary, even Victorian times, and have it in Charleston, where they're based out of Charleston, because there's a lot of myths and weird things people have stories of down there, or even New Orleans or New York City even. And I think it'd be fun to do and just see kind of where it would lead and how it would all work. But anyway, so I would highly recommend getting Vaesen if you enjoy a little bit of the odd but good stories that are a lot of fun and very interesting. Again, Vaesen from Free League, highly recommend it. It's D6. You roll multiple dice. If you get a 6, you're successful or more successful. And it's just great read, great book, great art. Definitely worth it. And again, shout out to my friend Bruno who runs the Bard at College. Give them a check out. They have Cthulhu in Cairo, which is a great story. But they also have a Vaesen one that is a lot of fun and another great story. So give them a check out. Check out Vaesen, and hope you all have a great day and keep on gaming.